KSAT 12. The news at noon starts right now.
It is a busy day in the KSAT 12 newsroom, and here is what we are working on today. A photographer is accused of sexually assaulting a woman during a photo shoot. We've got the details on his arrest, and it just ended weeks ago, but we're looking at a major announcement for Fiesta 2025. That's coming up. All the information for you after that announcement was made this morning. And then there's some policy changes that could be coming to dog owners here in San Antonio. Matter of fact, in just about an hour, District 7 Council member Marina Aldrete Gavito is going to do all the details for us. She's going to go into all these details. So far, we only know that she plans to announce 3 policy changes, and they're going to be focused on public safety to hold irresponsible dog owners accountable. We'll be there and have the latest for you this afternoon on KSAT.com, as well as tonight on the news at 5 and 6. But there's a reason for all these changes and these proposals. Tiffany?
That's right, David. Of course, that effort comes as we saw an increase in severe dog attacks in 2023. More than half a dozen people in San Antonio suffered severe injuries during those incidents last year. And 2 of those attacks were deadly. And one woman we spoke to last year told us she was attacked twice. As a result of all the attacks, ACS has created a dangerous dog registry. It includes an interactive online map that shows where those dogs labeled as dangerous due to previous attacks live. We have more information on KSAT.com, including a link to the city's website where you can find this map. As we hit a hot stretch, you may have heard that ERCOT issued a weather watch for today. The agency, which monitors the Texas grid, issued the watch because it expects high demand and the potential for low reserves. However, right now, it looks like the grid is doing just fine. Conditions are listed as normal on the ERCOT website. You can look at the grid conditions in real time on ERCOT.com.
But outside, they're not really that normal because there's heat and there's humidity, and you can see the humidity just hanging right there in the air.
Yeah, and part of that haze there is actually some smoke from agricultural fires being burned in Mexico. The air quality in San Antonio right now, relatively okay, but coming up, I'll talk a little bit more about those agricultural fires and air quality. First, though, I want to get you through your day. As you're looking outside right now with the temperatures in the satellite, you can see it's starting to clear up in the hill country. It's now sunny and 84 in Rock Springs. Del Rio, 93 degrees and sunny. Sun's starting to clear out in Laredo, too, where it's currently 88 degrees. And zooming into San Antonio, we're starting to see some breaks in the clouds, and we will very quickly here see some sunshine in the afternoon, and that'll cause temperatures to rise. For the rest of the day, we'll get up to 90 degrees for the high today, but it's going to feel like 100 because of the high humidity. Partly cloudy and humid this evening, still in the low 80s by midnight. So here's what we're going to talk about. Heat index near 100 through tomorrow. Speaking of tomorrow, there is a small 20% chance for a severe storm. I'll tell you those details coming up in just a bit. And I've got a look ahead to your Mother's Day weekend. It's looking cooler with a chance for rain on Mother's Day itself. Those details in a few minutes. David.
Thank you, Sarah. The San Antonio Police Department launched an internal affairs investigation after officers went into a man's home, handcuffed him, but they were at the wrong address. Alex Delgado was detained by police in late February. Officers were searching for a domestic violence suspect who may have broken into his ex-girlfriend's garage. But one problem, police responded to someone else's residence. Delgado told KSAT officers grabbed him and took him to the ground.
I'm powerless. I can't protect me. I can't protect my girlfriend. I don't know what's going to happen.
Delgado showed those photos with KSAT showing bruising on his arms and his knee. Coming up at 6 o'clock this evening, what SAPD has to say about this incident.
Deputies arrested a 48-year-old photographer accused of sexually assaulting a woman during a boudoir photo shoot. That's according to the Bexar County Sheriff's Office. John Stephen Lill, professional photographer, was hired by the victim to take those pictures. Now, the victim told deputies she was offered wine and lost consciousness during the session. When she woke up, BCSO says she believed Lill had sexually assaulted her. The suspect told BCSO he had a consensual encounter with the woman, allegations she denied. Lill was arrested and charged with sexual assault.
The Bexar County Sheriff's Office says they need your help to find a man who took off his ankle monitor. BCSO says 35-year-old Richard Lopez is wanted for a full list of charges, including attempted sexual assault and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. BCSO says Lopez could be using, quote, various aliases. If you know where he is, you're asked to call BCSO at 210-335-6000. And remember, you can remain anonymous.
San Antonio police have tracked down an armored truck that was robbed yesterday afternoon, but they're still looking for a third suspect in the case. The truck was robbed on Walsham Road around 1 p.m. Police tracked down the man and woman suspected in the robbery to a neighborhood in Schertz a few hours later. The truck and the money were recovered. However, a third suspect who helped is still out there. If you know anything about the last suspect, call San Antonio police.
A man charged in a hookah lounge murder in July of 2022 taking a plea deal. He'll now spend 50 years behind bars. Aaron Trevino was first charged back 2 years ago when police found Takai Charles Michael dead in the 3900 block of Eisenhower Road. Police believe someone shot him after he tried to retrieve some stolen items. Officers actually tracked Trevino down all the way to Kansas. He was later extradited back to Bexar County. 2 other suspects have already been sentenced in connection with this case. 2 others are still awaiting sentencing.
Manufacturing is growing in our region by leaps and bounds. We are on the map nationally.
Manufacturing is one of the leading sectors in the region's economy, and today manufacturers are showcasing their latest products and innovations. We take you to a manufacturing trade show and conference in San Antonio with more on this evolving industry and what job opportunities are out there.
JCB is a construction equipment and agricultural equipment manufacturing company based and headquartered in the UK, but we have facilities all over the world.
And JCB is expanding to San Antonio, bringing more job opportunities.
So our new facility will need around about 1,500 employees when it opens, and that's everything from assembly workers, manufacturing, engineering.
City leaders say it is expected to have a $30 billion economic impact over 10 years. JCB was present at this year's 23rd annual South Central Texas Manufacturing Trade Show and Conference.
It's an excellent opportunity for us today. We are new to San Antonio and new to Texas, so we're here today to try and find as many local, good quality manufacturing suppliers that we can to support our new facility when it opens in 2026.
Manufacturers from automotive, cybersecurity, and even aerospace gathered at the Freeman Expo Hall this morning.
We have 1,100 folks showing up. We have 132 exhibitors here in the house. These are our regional manufacturers who are showing what they make and how they employ folks in great careers in manufacturing.
The San Antonio Manufacturers Association, that has been around for 110 years in our region, hosted the event.
How has manufacturing evolved over the years in our region?
So manufacturing has evolved over the years in our region, becoming more sophisticated, higher skilled jobs. The image of the old factory, dangerous place, that's long gone.
This event gave companies and local students a space to share their latest projects. Tiffany Huertas, KSAT 12 News.
That was the paper coming out of that little machine that you find in your Amazon boxes?
Yes, it's incredible, all the different projects and innovations, and I love those papers. We love those packages.
Victor Wembanyama, one of the top defenders in the NBA, just not the top, at least not yet. We'll have that coming up. We barely got the confetti all cleaned up. We're already talking Fiesta 2025. Today, the Ray Feo Scholarship Foundation and Ray Feo Consejo Educational Foundation announced the next Ray Feo candidate.
Entrepreneur and businessman Fabian Castillo was bestowed the honor today. The San Antonio native and West Sider says he looks forward to making a difference through the Ray Feo Scholarship Fund.
I've been given to the community for many of years, and it's my time now to really make an impact to the city of San Antonio for the children that are going and trying to succeed and go into college. And now that we're doing vocational school, I really like that. I really love it because as a contractor, I know where our industry is going right now, and we need the trade people, the plumbers, the electricians, the HVAC people to build. Without them, the city doesn't get built. Right?
Ray Feo, also known as Fiesta's People's King, is elected by the Ray Feo Scholarship Program. Since 1947, the organization of former kings, business, and civic leaders has awarded $9 million to more than 6,000 students in the San Antonio area.
Never too early to talk about Refeo and Fiesta. It is too early to talk about heat index, though.
I know, but it is that time of year where we start to see the humidity kind of catch up to us, and that's going to be the case this afternoon and tomorrow, too. The aquifer is down 0.6 of a foot over the past 24 hours, and when we look at the pollen count, there's 5 allergens out there. Thank goodness they're all low: molds, pine, grass, pecan, and pigweed. Coming up, a look ahead to our chance for an isolated severe storm tomorrow.
Welcome back. We know that who has the most fun at the noon show? Our friends at SA Live.
Oh, and she's going solo today.
That's right. Holding down the fort. Okay, and we were talking this morning about how Austin City Limits, the lineup, just dropped, right? Like a mic. So we want to know, what song do you groove to?
What song do I groove? Oh, come on.
Oh, I know you've got to have like 5 songs you groove to, David.
Okay, here's my excuse. I was a disc jockey for 7 years. So all the 70s and 80s hits, man, they just pop into my head. And I just, like the one in my head now is Little River Band, Time for a Cool Change. Don't ask me why, it just, I heard it the other day on satellite radio and it's been in my head for a week now. So there you go. I don't know.
You were a DJ, a disc jockey, like an onion, just peeling the layers back. Tiffany, what about you?
I mean, I can groove to anything, but I usually gravitate towards disco or just like salsa. Like, I love me some salsa music, and I just groove all the time to it.
See,
there
that's
you go.
right.
There
All
you
right,
go.
so we want you to scan that QR code and let us know what song you groove to, and you might see your answer in the show live here from Historic Market Square at 1 o'clock.
All right. Disco?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Little Donna Summer?
Oh yeah.
There we go. Little Bee Gees? I'm talking.
Now
Come
we're
on.
talking. Look, Sarah's in on it too.
Whoa.
So
Man.
it's funny because it totally depends on your mood,
Right.
like what you groove to.
Yeah.
But like you, David, yesterday I heard Van Morrison's Into the Mystic.
Oh, see?
And I was like, ooh, this song is so good. I love that whole album. We have it on vinyl.
Really?
Yeah, it's really great. My husband's record collection is pretty awesome.
Nothing better than an album.
Yeah,
Like
honestly.
a real album.
It's purposeful too. You put it on and you're locked in. That's what you're going to be listening
Maybe a little
to.
scratch on it.
Yeah,
You
love
know.
those pops and
You keep
whizzes there.
Hearing Boston over and over again.
It sounds like it's a particular record for you that had that scratch on it.
Boston's good. There's lots.
All right, let's go ahead and take a look outside with the satellite and the temperatures, and you can see that many folks in the hill country are starting to see complete sunshine. They're going to be running just a little warmer than those of us in San Antonio right now who are seeing some clouds. Take a look out to Del Rio. It's already 93 in Del Rio, and that's because they're seeing plenty of sunshine out in Del Rio. Meanwhile, it's 88 in Laredo, a lot of sunshine. Laredo expected to reach 100 degrees today. As we zoom into San Antonio, we're kind of caught in the cloud cover here, but it's already starting to clear in Pleasanton where it's 87. So as soon as we see the sun this afternoon, a lot like yesterday, we're going to warm up quickly. We'll get to 90 degrees at least today. If we can see those skies part even quicker, we might get up into the low 90s. But looking at your KSAT 12-hour forecast for the day, partly cloudy skies this afternoon, and then by 4 or 5 o'clock, it's going to get to 90 degrees, but it'll feel like 100 because of the high humidity out there. Then later on tonight, a very mild evening. You know, last night felt pretty good outside after the sun set, and we'll get only down to 79 degrees by midnight, so it's going to be a warm evening. I want to show you the weather setup across the nation right now. You can see that there's a low pressure system with a warm front in front of it, cold front behind it, and a dry line across Texas. It's just ahead of this low pressure system in southern Missouri that they've got a tornado watch in effect right now. This is the main area of the country that's going to be seeing severe weather. Meanwhile, what we're stuck in here in San Antonio is some very humid air with that dry line starting to push east. This is why with that dry line moving east, there's going to be areas like Del Rio, Laredo that very quickly see temperatures skyrocket with drier air and sunnier skies. They're going to be in the triple digits. That's one of the reasons why ERCOT is being cautious about energy use today, because there's going to be parts of south central Texas that are going to be very hot. Meanwhile, though, there is a cool front to our north, and this cool front is going to make things a lot cooler for the weekend. Now, we're not going to be chilly, but it is going to be much cooler than the 90s like we're seeing out there this afternoon. Take a look at the temperature trend. So we'll start off tomorrow at 74, get up to 94 for the high. That front moves through and actually ends up being fairly cooler over the weekend. Friday, high of only 83. We'll have lower humidity. Saturday, 79 for the high. So it's going to be relatively nice on Saturday with a few sprinkles out there. And then Sunday, our high will only be 80 degrees for Mother's Day, but there is the potential for a few showers. We'll talk about that in a bit, but first I want to walk you through your forecast tomorrow. With that front moving into North Texas, there's going to be some severe weather for the Dallas-Fort Worth area down to Waco and parts of East Texas. Then as we head into tomorrow, this is a look at right around 1 o'clock in the afternoon, some storminess developing near Waco and Killeen. What will happen with these cluster of storms will depend on if we see a storm in San Antonio. If the storms move more south and make it to San Antonio, there is the possibility that we could see an isolated severe storm, but also that cluster of storms could very easily miss us to the east. So that's why tomorrow there's only a 20% chance for an isolated storm in the afternoon. That chance is low, but if a storm can develop, it would become severe with hail a possibility. So we'll keep you posted. I want to look at Mother's Day weekend. After that front moves through, Saturday is going to be cooler. We may even have some sprinkles on Saturday and 79 for the high. Sunday is trending a little bit rainier. Right now we've only got it at 30% chance for a few showers and storms, but we will keep you posted. Mother's Day, a big day that we want to celebrate our mothers. I know a lot of people have brunch plans and things like that. It does look like it's going to be at least be cloudy on Mother's Day with the potential for a few showers and storms. Looking ahead to the 7-day forecast, again, hot and humid the next couple of days. Small chance for an isolated severe thunderstorm on Thursday, then cooler over Mother's Day weekend with a small chance for rain on Sunday rather. Just sprinkles on Saturday. More on that smoke from agricultural fires in Mexico coming up the next half hour. David, Tiffany.
You know that little emoji that's red with a little sweat on the side? That's how I feel.
Yeah, that's how
All
I feel
day.
too. That's how I feel too.
Thanks, Sarah.
Let's take it to Texas Lutheran. You're going to hear from some players on a very dominant softball team. And also the Rangers are rolling. They're in Oakland.
It was incredible. I mean, obviously, as a competitor, you always want to be there for those type of games. And I told the guys, that's the only potential thing that could make me miss a game was the birth of my son.
Yeah, for the fourth time in his NBA career, Minnesota Timberwolves French center Rudy Gobert, the NBA Defensive Player of the Year. French centers went 1 and 2 in voting. Rookie of the Year, Victor Wembanyama came in second, nearly becoming the first rookie to win the award. Wemby had 19 first-place votes.
There's plenty of stuff I plan on working on. We're going to keep discovering new ways to get better and to work on my body. And for basketball, there's a lot I want to work on. There's a lot Pop wants me to work on, and the coaches. So I'm excited.
Yeah, that was Wemby earlier this week telling us what he needs to work on this summer to improve his game. He wants to build off his Rookie of the Year award. He got 99 first-place votes, only the sixth player to get them all. Former Spur David Robinson was actually one of the others. Man, talk about dominating the competition. The Texas Lutheran softball team won their Southern Collegiate Athletic Conference title for the 9th time in 10 seasons. It's the 19th conference title in the Bulldogs program history. TLU clinched the title Monday when they handed Trinity a 6-1 loss for the series sweep. The Bulldogs are a gritty group of young ladies this season. Their sophomore Kaylee Clark broke the Division III record for stolen bases. And as a team, they're 4 short of breaking their own stolen bases record of 231. They now wait to find out who they will play in the first round of the NCAA tournament. That decision coming Monday. Hey, the Texas Rangers looking to continue a little roll that they're on. They went into yesterday with a 3-game winning streak, taking on Oakland. Marcus Semien leads off the game with a solo shot on the very first pitch of the game. He had 4 hits, 5 RBI. Rangers pounded the Oakland A's. Jonah Heim had a huge day. He went 4 for 4. Texas scored 10 runs in the top of the second. The Rangers beat the A's 15-8. They outscored opponents 37-16. And they are now on a 4-game winning streak. Houston struggled against Alex Verdugo and the New York Yankees, even with Justin Verlander on the mound. Astros fell 10-3. They're now 12-23 on the season. Game 2 of their series tonight at 6:05. East Central High School home to Memorial Signing Day. 4 student athletes put ink to paper, making their college futures official. 1 basketball standout, 2 soccer stars, and an exemplary cheerleader will represent the Hornets at the next level, and no one in this group has taken this moment and the opportunity for granted.
It's really exciting. I've been dreaming about this day since like the first day I came to high school.
College is something that I've always been very set on and that I want to go. I want to continue to further my education.
It's really exciting. My family, we haven't really had this before, so it's something new and something to experience with everybody.
I wasn't thinking about going to play soccer in college, but I guess the passion and God sent the opportunity for me and I took it.
Once again, congratulations to all these young folks heading off to college careers.
Amazing.
Exciting.
Congratulations. And all the hard work of all the years led to this moment.
Yep.
Very cool. Another option is on the horizon for those struggling to lose weight. How doctors involved are taking a different approach to help people curb their hunger.
And stories about so-called Ozempic babies are trending on social media. Now, a lot of people are wondering why the popular drugs are leading to surprise pregnancies and if taking while pregnant is safe. What doctors recommend for those with those concerns. Coming up.
Welcome back. SAWS could make changes soon, and it would have an impact on you. Here's what they're considering. Higher fines for people who break the drought rules, new hours for watering your lawns, and closing a loophole on drip irrigation. These are all steps the San Antonio water system wants to put in place for this summer. Garrett Berger talked with the conservation officer at SAWS about what it could mean for you.
San Antonio has had a few years of drought. And while SAWS has rules that are meant to conserve water, it says those measures aren't working as well as it wants. So the utility is considering some updates.
For the vast majority of people out there, nothing really changes. We're still talking about once-a-week rules.
First, increasing penalties for larger and repeat violators of drought restrictions, and putting those penalties as fees on their bills, rather than as citations, so customers outside San Antonio can't avoid them like they can now. Plus, hitting the heaviest water users with a new surcharge before SAWS resorts to ordering everyone pull back to watering just twice a month.
So we think a logical alternative is to have a new stage 3 that imposes a high use surcharge only on the top 5% users, asks them to rein it in a bit.
SAWS also wants to shift watering hours to earlier in the morning and later at night to help conserve power during peak evening hours. And start inspecting new irrigation systems to make sure they're up to snuff. Well, there's one proposal that's apt to cause the most outcry.
That has been the toughest conversation, is drip irrigation.
Drip irrigation systems, which are different than soaker hoses, are more and more popular. And they don't have the same restrictions on use that sprinklers have. But SAWS thinks it's time they do.
That word drip, that just makes it sound like it doesn't put out any water. That's the part that's not true. It can have an efficiency benefit. It just doesn't need to run longer or more often.
The SAWS board heard the ideas today, but had some concerns, including on drip irrigation. But they won't vote until next month, or possibly a special session before then. The City Council will also vote on the changes, which at the earliest could start going into effect in early July. Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
Yeah, we're getting to that time of year when water usage becomes more and more of a concern as it gets hotter and hotter.
Right, and we have been consistently in drought in Bexar County for the last 2 years. So even with all the rain we saw over the last month or so, we could still use some more rain. And unfortunately, no big, huge rainmakers in the near future. What we're going to see is pretty much isolated showers and storms here and there in the coming days. But something you might be seeing out there on the horizon is a haze. take a look out there. This is actually a combination of, yes, the humidity, high humidity, and then also some smoke from agricultural burns in Mexico. This happens every year. There's nothing unusual about this. It does cause a little bit of a dip in air quality. So air quality is down from the perfect good to the moderate. Occasionally what you'll see is the air quality dipping into the unhealthy levels for those who are sensitive to air quality, people with lung disorders, the extremely young and the extremely old. We'll keep you posted if it ever dips to the unhealthy for those who are sensitive to the air quality. But again, this is something that happens every year. Usually we see it come to an end by June when the growing season for Mexico begins and the burning stops. But the smoke forecast does show those agricultural fires continuing, and we'll see at least moderate levels in the air through tomorrow, at least for now. If you'd like to learn more about the agricultural burning that creates that smoke here in Texas and across a good portion of the nation, scan that QR code. We've written an article all about this. It's got some common answers to common questions. So go ahead and scan that QR code. Coming up in the forecast, though, we're going to talk about how there will be some relief from the humidity that's making the haze a little higher out there. I'll have those details coming up in just a bit. David.
All right, Sarah, look forward to that. Thank you. The Biden administration working on a report for Congress this week on whether or not Israel has violated international law during the war in Gaza. Meantime, the Biden administration opted to pause a shipment of some 3,500 bombs to Israel last week. It says that's because of concerns the weapons could be used in areas where large groups of civilians are sheltering. And the White House is taking a much closer look at other weapon transfers going to Israel. All this marks a major shift in policy for the Biden administration, and it could be the first time the U.S. denied its close ally military aid since the Israel-Hamas war began.
57 million Americans in the storm zone today, bracing for potentially strong tornadoes, hail, destructive winds, and flash flooding yet again. The new round of severe weather comes after a rough 2 days in the Midwest. More than 40 tornadoes reported across 11 states. In Michigan, the first tornado emergency on record. At least 9 twisters were reported. Amanda Miller was on the job at a Michigan barbershop praying for safety.
I'm 5 months pregnant right now, so really I was just thinking about my baby. The whole back wall of the salon was removed and the bathroom was like completely exposed.
For some areas, today could be day 3 of a tornado outbreak. The 4th time we've seen a multi-day tornado outbreak in the last month.
More than $1 billion in tax refunds still on the table, just sitting there. People have until next Friday to claim that cash. May 17th is the deadline for people who failed to file their 2020 tax return to become eligible for a refund. A return claiming a refund must be filed within 3 years of its due date for a refund to be allowed. Traditionally, the filing deadline to claim old refunds was around April 15th, but in 2020, the filing deadline was extended to May 17th due to COVID-19. Panera is getting rid of its line of highly caffeinated drinks. This comes as the company faces several wrongful death lawsuits involving charged lemonades and sips. People who claim their caffeinated drinks caused health problems include 2 deaths. So now Panera is pulling the drinks from its menu. In many cases, people who experienced issues after consuming the drinks did have some underlying conditions.
A large amount of caffeine, in addition to other stimulants to the heart, in a small window of time could have an effect on someone with an underlying genetic disorder.
According to one lawsuit, the charged sips can contain more caffeine than some energy drinks. It accuses Panera of, quote, failing to properly warn consumers of their dangerous products, end quote.
The popular weight loss medication Ozempic might be leading an increase in surprise pregnancies. Researchers say the drugs have been shown to increase a woman's chance of getting pregnant because weight loss is generally associated with increased fertility. And the drugs can also make birth control pills less effective. But are there any risks? Little is known about the medication's safety during pregnancy. The few studies available haven't shown major causes for concern. However, researchers note that more study is needed and is underway. For now, doctors recommend that women stop taking the drugs 2 months before they try to get pregnant.
With those weight loss drugs flying off the shelves, the need for alternatives is growing. And that's why doctors in North Carolina are taking a different approach. ABC's Ariel Reshef takes a look at the potentially game-changing procedure that targets obesity at a hormonal level.
The medical team behind a clinical trial for a possible new weight loss procedure says it has the potential to be a game changer.
For patients who might be afraid of surgery, this may be more acceptable.
It's called endoscopic ablation, and here's how it works. The doctor inserts a camera into the stomach while the patient is asleep. Fluids are administered to protect the underlying stomach tissue before a tiny device ablates or burns the lining of the upper portion of the stomach that produces ghrelin, the so-called hunger hormone that can trigger appetite. Dr. McGowan says in a limited study of 10 patients that it has resulted in decreased appetite and weight loss.
We do have patients who are a year or more beyond their initial procedure, and what we are seeing is that they continue to have a diminishment, decrease in hunger, continue to report greater control over eating.
Brooke Nelson is one of the first to have undergone this trial. She says the results have been nothing short of remarkable.
The constant just wanting of food has drastically decreased. There's still moments where I want a chocolate chip cookie, but there's a lot more moments when I find myself wanting something like greens.
Nelson losing 26 pounds over 6 months. Dr. McGowan says the results of the study indicate on average that patients reduce their overall weight by 7%.
Today, I'm at 183.
And while the new procedure offers a non-surgical alternative to gastric bypass surgery, in which portions of the stomach are reduced in size, like any procedure, it does come with risks.
Risks of this technology could include things like ulcers, bleeding, somehow injuring the stomach. These were things we were really careful about. In this case, everything was mild, and that was the cramping and gas and nausea, things you'd expect when you'd perform a procedure on the stomach, but there were no complications whatsoever.
More findings from the study are due to be released later this month. However, the procedure still has a long way to go before it gets approved for wide use. And it's important to remember that, as you pointed out in that package, the study was very small. Only 10 people took part. And that means there's still a lot for doctors to figure out as far as potential risks and long-term side effects are concerned.
KSAT has officially switched over to NextGen TV. We've received a lot of questions. That's why we've got our phone bank open once again this noon. You can call the number on your screen, 210-351-1363. We are here to help you with any problems or concerns you might have regarding this switch. You can also go to ksatcommunity.com for more information as well.
Outside with the live cam. See, this is kind of, I don't know, kind of bothers me.
Why does it bother you, David?
Because you can't see very far, and we know it's humid outside. I know you're talking about some smoke from some of the burning going on in Mexico, but still, that's like, nah, it's May. I can't have this yet.
It feels like summer, doesn't it? It's just a cruel reminder of, good things like the nice cooler weather can't last forever. The aquifer is down 0.6 of a foot over the past 24 hours. We're still almost 30 feet below the monthly average. When we look at the pollen count, there's 5 allergens out there: bolts, pecan, pine, grass, and pigweed, but thankfully they are all low. Now here's a look at the temperatures. Skies are starting to clear, temperatures are starting to rise. It is going to be a hot one this afternoon and hot tomorrow too, with the heat index near 100. Speaking of tomorrow, there is a 20% chance of a severe storm, so you're going to want to be weather aware tomorrow, even though our chances for storms are low. And then finally, we'll talk about Mother's Day weekend. It is trending cooler, but with a chance for rain on Sunday as well. Lots to talk about coming up.
Welcome back. I don't even know why I try to do my hair in the morning, because I step outside and it's so humid.
I don't know why I do mine either.
Well, David, your hair always looks great, my friend.
Thank you. Well,
Here's the thing. In the commercial break, I want to give you guys a little behind the scenes. We were talking about Science with Sarah this last week.
Yeah.
And the kids busted out in that
Ain't nothing but a
song.
party.
It was, hey, there you go. if the Backstreet Boys ever need a deep bass singer, they can use David.
The bass I got, the singing part.
Yeah, I mean, that was on pitch.
Well, if you want to see the whole thing,
it's on KSAT and on my Instagram. Yeah, it is.
Those Science for Sarahs, we have a good time. The kids learn stuff too, but we also have a good time.
Yes. That's the important part.
Fun stuff.
All right, first I want to talk about the weather today, and I want us to get through the day because it's going to be, even though right now we're really sitting in some clouds, we will see some sun in the afternoon. That's going to cause our temperatures to rise. It's 93 in Del Rio where there's plenty of sunshine. They've got a little bit drier air out there too, so they're able to warm up quicker. Drier air warms up quicker than humid air. But right now in San Antonio, we're sitting in the clouds, but take a look out there. There's some sun starting to shine in Seguin and even up near Comfort right now. The sun is starting to shine there and in Kerrville. Today, a lot like yesterday, where we are going to see some breaks in the clouds this afternoon. That's going to allow our high to get up to 90 degrees, but it should feel closer to 100 because of the high humidity this afternoon at 4, 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock. Then by this evening, temperatures falling into the 80s after sunset. It's going to be a very mild night, still 79 by midnight. Showing you the weather setup today because there's a system moving through parts of the Mississippi River Valley that's going to be really starting to produce some severe weather. There's a tornado watch in parts of southern Missouri right now, severe thunderstorm watch for parts of North Carolina and Tennessee, and it's this area that's going to be dealing with the severe weather today. Meanwhile, we're just sitting in very humid air here in south central Texas. The West Texas dry line has set up. It's going to try to inch a little bit more to the east so that areas like Del Rio, Laredo will likely see temperatures above 100 degrees today. Here in San Antonio, it's just going to feel like 100. But there to our rescue, up to the north, moving through parts of the Panhandle and New Mexico, is our cool front that's going to make things a little bit cooler over Mother's Day weekend, but it's also going to provide a small chance for an isolated severe storm tomorrow. But temperatures will take a tumble because of that front. On Friday, our high will only be 83. On Saturday, our highs will only be in the upper 70s and low 80s, and the mornings will actually be on the cool side. Not necessarily chilly outside, but a lot cooler than what we're dealing with out there right now. Let me show you, though, that front could spark off a few storms tomorrow. Now, mainly for areas well north of San Antonio. Dallas, Fort Worth, down to Waco, down to Killeen. As that front moves through, they are going to spark off a few storms for the Waco-Killeen area. This is where we could see some severe weather tomorrow. What happens with these storms will depend on our chance for storms in San Antonio. Right now, I've only got us at a small 20% chance. If this storm cluster moves south towards San Antonio, we could see higher chance for storms. It could also very easily move to the east and miss us completely. But if we do happen to get a storm, then the storm would be severe with hail possible. That is a big if, okay? The chance for storms tomorrow is only 20%, but I still want you to be weather aware tomorrow. 20% chance in the afternoon during the peak heat of the day. And again, we're on the tail end of a risk for severe weather. The higher risk for severe weather is up near Austin, Waco, Dallas, Fort Worth, out east toward Tyler, Shreveport, and Bryan College Station. Then, after a small chance for storms on Thursday, tomorrow, our attention turns to Mother's Day weekend. Mother's Day weekend is going to be cooler. Saturday, 79 for the high. I do think we could have some sprinkles on Saturday. And Sunday, our rain chances are looking slightly higher. I think we will have a few showers and storms out there on Sunday. Where they pop up is anybody's guess, all right? But the possibility is there. It is going to be mainly cloudy and a high of 80 degrees. We will keep you posted on that Mother's Day forecast. Otherwise, it's not going to feel too bad over the weekend. We'll be back with more news after the break.
All right, so here's what we're finding out today, that when Mike's away, Fiona turns that SA Live thing into a real zoo.
Oh, that's right. That's right, we do. It is truly a wild Wednesday on today's show, and I've got Jared Portman here from Animal World and Snake Farm Zoo. And who have you got here?
This is Gracie. She's our umbrella cockatoo.
Okay, and she likes to laugh. I heard her laugh.
That's right. She actually has a pretty huge vocabulary.
Okay. All right, and you brought this because we will be bottle feeding an animal that needs a bottle this big.
That's right.
Okay, so you're gonna have to stick around for that. Also, Mother's Day is coming up, so we are celebrating and creating with a preview of a paint and sip party at Christie's Casa de Colores. And more Mother's Day gift ideas. How about pampering mom with some skincare glow at a local med spa? And more from the red carpet at South by Southwest. We're going to give you a preview of a new documentary streaming on Hulu tomorrow. And from one Austin festival to another, we know ACL just dropped its lineup. That's right, Austin City Limits. We know who is going to be performing, so we want to know, what song would you groove to? Scan that QR code and let us know. All that and more when SA Live continues in just a few minutes. Gracie, I know this isn't yours.